So, with the multiple sclerosis, I'm often asked why I'm always in bed. Let me demonstrate trying to get out of bed. Ow. Yes, it is this difficult. This is what I have to go through every time I need to go to the bathroom. My bathroom is right here. It takes me like a couple minutes, for at least a minute or so, to even get to the bathroom, even though it's like right here. And to get back in bed, that's getting back in bed. When I get back in bed, especially when I'm wearing a dress or something nice, it's never right. It's always kind of twisted up, and it's really hard to get it straightened out. Because hopping up and trying to raise up my butt is actually a little bit difficult. And not only that, I've got the arthritis in the back of my neck here. So anytime I'm actually upright, it puts pressure on it, especially with my neck being not as strong as it was before I had MS. My first set of symptoms with multiple sclerosis was in 2004. I had stayed up late the night before, and I was watching Planet of the Apes. It was on an old CRT television. Yeah, it was 2004. We couldn't afford a one of them newfangled LCD screens. Um, but yeah, the next day, if I turned my head even like a fraction of an inch, I'd feel like I was falling out of bed. And yeah, that lasted about a week or so. Then, kind of all at the same time, I don't know the order exactly, I went blind in my left eye. It wasn't like a complete like blackness. It was more like TV static, like an analog TV static. And also, I went deaf in my left ear. Again, it wasn't so much deaf as in silence, but more like hearing nothing but noise and static. Like TV. It was freaking bizarre. At some point, I completely lost my sense of taste. I can't tell you how disgusting it is to eat anything, a burger, pizza, when you can't taste anything. All you have is the texture of the food. I used to eat the spiciest things I can to get any amount of taste. It didn't work. I couldn't taste a thing. Hottest jalapenos, habaneros, whatever the case may be. Nothing for a while. Eventually, that all came back. It all started working again. At one point, my hands were such that if I was trying to hold a sandwich, I would end up crushing it because I couldn't feel what I had in my hands. I couldn't feel where my fingers were. It was kind of at the same time when it was right before my daughter was born. And that was the worst thing. I was deathly afraid to hold my daughter. Um, I was afraid that I would drop her, with the MS. It was awful being afraid to hold your own child. I was in a bad, bad state. Even during when my then wife was pregnant, I was not in any state to care for anybody. So, that's kind of the beginning of the end of our relationship. It lasted a whole another 10 years after that. I don't know. 12 years after that, something like that. Things got better. I got better. I still had pins and needles in my hands and toes and feet. But I was mostly okay. I could function. About 3 years ago, I started to get really bad as far as mobility. I had a hard time going up and down stairs first, and then I had a hard time just walking in general more than, however long, whatever distance. I didn't even realize it was MS at the point. I just thought I was in really bad shape. I thought I just needed to exercise more. Um, but that was kind of the beginning of my downward spiral towards not having really any mobility. All of my multiple sclerosis uh, episodes happened around some sort of huge stresses that come into life. Obviously, the first one was the birth and the pregnancy and birth of my daughter. I kind of started getting better eventually. Things were okay. But then they weren't because my then wife, she decided to go off to live with her parents for a while, like 9 months, whatever it was. I was totally distraught. I couldn't deal with it. And, we had bought a house a few years back, or like a year or two before that. And she wouldn't come back until I got rid of the house. So I lost that. One thing that helped me regain some movement in my hands is I was playing Super Monkey Ball on a giant digital arcade stick, whereas that game is supposed to be played on an analog. I actually got pretty good at it using nothing but the digital stick. Um, my hands really were not working at all um, at that point. Um, Eventually, I got better. I had a lot more stresses going out through, off and on. But the most recent stress that kind of caused me to go into this downward spiral, I went through a really nasty, bitter divorce. I pretty much lost my kids. And then I just I lost my job, lost my kids, lost everything. And as a result, here I am stuck in bed. Stress for me is the biggest thing that contributes to me getting worse and worse and worse. So that's where I am now.